Hey, hey, beautiful people. Good morning. Turning my Bluetooth off. Good morning from beautiful but heartbroken Tasmania. Wasn't actually planning. I say this a lot, but I wasn't planning on going live. And then I don't know. It's like I'd rather chat with a couple of groovers, or even just chat to myself than put on the news. So here we are, just the one of us. We'll always be together, just the one of us. Um, that's my probably as cheery as I can get. I'm actually looking forward to today because we're all kind of shell shocked about what happened in Tasmania yesterday. But I think being around some other people and talking about it will be seeing a Christmas lunch today, and I am not feeling festive. But it'd be nice to just connect with some, really good mates. I'm so lucky I work with people that I also consider friends. Well, one of them was a friend before I started working there, so she's a friend. It's not just me considering. But I think it's good to talk about stuff when it happens, and everyone's just still in shock. For those of you who don't know, there was an absolutely horrific event in northern Tasmania yesterday involving those jumping castles that had been hired for their this primary school's end of year graduation celebration, and 5 kids died. This jumping castle, according to reports, and also Zorb balls, which are the big inflatable balls that you bounce around in, were all lifted off the ground. I was, when I go live, I'm like, I'm glad I've gone live, and then I'm like, I can't see a thing without sunnies, but I can't read chat with sunnies on. Oh, hey AJ. Yeah, look, I am. Thank you. I mean, you've got much closer contacts than I do. It just is it's it's still just there's just no words, and people have been so unbelievably generous, and I think because I mean, people, Tasmanians are always very generous with fundraisers, but I think people when you're sort of trying to process something like this and you can't come up with words, like donating helps because you feel like you're doing something that is going to benefit. Um, Money's not going to bring those children back, and it's not going to erase the struggles, the families of the children who die, the children that are in hospital, the children who witness it. Everyone's in for a very long recovery, if at all. I mean, I don't even like using the word recovery. They've got a long road ahead of them. But the first responders, too, we were chatting about them last night. I read this morning on the ABC website, some of those cops, it was their first day on the job. But these are kids that are barely 20. And their first day working as police officers, or I mean, I think they've graduated, so they're not cadets anymore. But their first day as a police officer, that's what they had to attend to. The story just gets sadder and sadder. 2 of the children have been named, and you look at their beautiful faces beaming out of these photos and just think you had the world at your feet. You had a lifetime of adventures ahead of you, and a week before Christmas, you're gone. Hey, Anastasia Beaverhausen. Hey, little Groover. I don't know if you've noticed, but yesterday on this channel, the members are sponsoring a little wombat, and the members that were in the members, everyone in chat, we had a poll, and they came up with the name Cashew. They're going with the nut theme, obviously. So thank you. You're part of that, because I sort of worked out the money I get from memberships. I decided to double it. Like, I decided to match that amount and then do something constructive with it. So we're sponsoring a wombat at the Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary 24-hour rescue. Oh, you did, and you did help to adopt Cassia. Isn't it cute? Isn't it the cutest thing? She's so divine. So every couple of months I'm going to we'll sponsor another one, because I can't believe how humble this organisation is. To sponsor an animal, it's $50 for the year. I was prepared to do it for $50 a month, or every second month. So in February we're going to be adopting a Tasmanian devil. Yeah, wombats are the best. Well, they're all beautiful. So yeah, Cashew will get a little sibling, probably with a nutty type name, in February. And I had an idea this morning. What I'm going to do is just like a little video that just sort of talks about what Bonorong does, like really short little video, and then how the members and the community, because the next certificate is going to say, this one says Traces of Nuts YouTube members. The next one's going to say Traces of Nuts community. I'm not going to use subscribers, community, because there are people who watch me who haven't subscribed. Oh, AJ, thank you, beautiful. You didn't have to do that. Well, you're now in the little sponsor pool as well. It was so much fun, and then of course the story about the tragedy at Hillcrest Primary School was sort of unfolding when I came out of I think when I went into the gym, they had announced one child had died. Then I came out of the gym and they said another. I can't remember, but it was hideous. It was like in the space of an hour. Might have been 2 had been confirmed dead. I came out and then there were 4 confirmed dead. And then last night, when I went live on the Smooth Criminal podcast, another death was announced. Oh, it's so tragic. I was a bit unprofessional in when I did the coverage on I don't know if it was unprofessional, but when I covered it last night, I just sort of asked YouTube creators to think about what they're doing with all this infighting and arguing, and just how pointless it is, and striking people's channels and all this stuff that's going on. Like, people's lives can change in an instant, and I encouraged everyone last night for 2022, although start now, we start to take people for granted that we've met on YouTube like we do in the real world. And our little mission is to love bomb, and I'm not using that term in a negative way. I've heard it being used in a negative way, and it's like, No, I'm seriously going to encourage people to love bomb chats. So if you attempted to go to a chat where people are screaming and yelling, but there's someone in chat that you've met on YouTube who you're really fond of, just tell them you love them. Mel and I wanted to, I don't know, encourage people just to find their funny again and lighten up on YouTube, but that's a pointless mission because channels are getting paid a lot of money to go live and be angry. So I thought, okay, well, here's the next best thing we can do. Let's just love bomb people in chat that we've met on YouTube. Just say, hey, good to see you, whoever it is. We've known each other for 3 years now on YouTube. I love you. Just put little positive comments in chats. And then bail from the angry channel. Do a bit of love bombing. Tell people you love them. Or they mean a lot to you, or thank them for their support, or whatever it is, and then get the hell out of there. Hugs, not slugs. Yes. Oh, look at YouTube bonding in chat. That's cute. AJ Anastasia Beaverhausen is someone that I have known on YouTube for a long time. A long time. I mean, we met in a channel that was one of the first channels I started watching when I discovered there were all these people going live on YouTube. I'm like, whoa, check out this crazy platform. YouTube had always been music videos and animal videos and how-to videos for me. And then suddenly I'm like, people are going live and talking about shit. This is cool. And Anastasia AJ has a very strong connection with Tasmania. She's lived here, and her husband worked at Hillcrest Primary School where the tragedy occurred. Look at that sky. And I do love you groovers. I think this community is really sweet. I think we look after each other. I love how my chat, often I'm talking about stuff and I look at chat and everyone's checking in on each other and seeing how everyone's doing, and there's a lot of love in this channel. Well, yeah, I don't know when did you start frolicking on YouTube, Anastasia? Because I mean, we met in Laura's, but I found Laura in 2018. Were you around back then, or was it 2019? In fact, I won a prize on Laura's channel once, and I gave it to Anastasia Beaverhausen. Because posting things to Australia is. I sent my friend's Christmas box to them the other day, $78. The first time I've ever sent a gift though that was worth more than the postage. $78. I mean, how ridiculous! I'm gonna buy me a little mail plane and fly it, deliver it in person when the borders are open. Tassie is gorgeous. And Dan, hello. I think I saw Dan coming in as well. Dan lived here for a while too. We're heading into town. It's Friday in Hobart. It was Friday in Australia, but we're heading into Tobar, that little coffee van we just saw on the left. They do great coffees. Yeah, with Jay and Oni. I mean, we were there. Well, I modded for Jay. That didn't end well, but we've known each other from the start, kiddo. Despite what happened, especially the fall of Oni, those days on YouTube were fun. They really were. People have all gone batshit on there and lost their way and done terrible things, but it used to be fun, someone would go live and you'd be like, I mean, do you remember the live that Oni did with Chaz where they were eating those jelly beans? And some of them, were the jelly beans, the prank ones that had like beans that tasted like vomit and sour milk and stuff like that. That time was fun. Bamboozled, that's it. And the panels were fun. People from all over the world were jumping. I mean, I remember when I first met Jay, she said she didn't realise Tasmania was an actual place. She thought it was fictitious. And then I remember her telling Oni I was from Tasmania, and he was like stunned mullet. But there was a lot of fun. I mean, even MGL, well, Grey Hughes was the first person I found on YouTube, but MGL around the same time because they were both covering Chris Watts. But MGL hooked me in because I was like, my God, this woman is out of control. I mean, she's gone down a road now that I'm like, you're just completely nutty. But at the time, she was entertaining, and then that all turned to shit. Her coverage of the Chris Watts case turned to shit, as we all know. Oh, my God, the sky, everyone. And the water on either side of the causeway is just beautiful, reflecting that stunning blue sky. All's right with the world. While Tasmania's got a massive broken heart right now, the outpouring of love from around the world has been phenomenal. The reaction to a GoFundMe that was started by a girl who lives in Devonport, has no connection to the school at all, but she was like, this is a really simple thing to do, and set up a GoFundMe. The two kids that have been named so far, they've got GoFundMes happening as well. And I mean, no amount of money is going to bring these babies home, but these families are planning funerals, instead of planning Christmas. And the kids that are still in hospital are going to need a lot of medical treatment. The kids that witness it, the teachers, like the first responders, there's going to be a lot of counselling. Hey, Moody Mary. This is the refuge channel for sure. We're all YouTube refugees. Well, it's as safe as YouTube can be. I mean, there's nothing on the internet that's safe, but in terms of people not getting attacked and there are people that come into my channel that are from really contentious communities. And I've said this for a long time. I do not have the time to research the antics of everyone on YouTube. I'm certainly aware that some people have done horrific things to other people, and they've also done horrific things in return. And I think anyone who's had a horrible experience on YouTube, it sucks that this platform allows that kind of shitty behaviour. But at the end of the day, I can't moderate my community and block every person that someone on YouTube's got a problem with, or I won't have any subscribers. Well, no, that's not true. I think everyone in here is kind of better behaved than most channels, some of the people in their chat. But I've had people that come in from contentious communities, and as long as they behave and they're nice to everyone in chat, they can stay here. There's too many people that go live saying things about other people and you shouldn't watch this person. I mean, like, seriously, it's too hard. Don't get me wrong. There are some people that have done horrific things, and if they came in here, I'd be like, I'm not really cool with you coming in here. But the really sort of nasty folk don't come here. I don't know how I'd handle it. If I was live and somebody really shitty came in, I'd probably just say, look, behave while you're in here, but I might sort of, look, I don't know. See, this is the thing. Then what do? Do you finish the live, go back through it, block people? Oh, no. You had a great idea for a panel, Moody Mary. Share it. It's amazing. You can email me at smoothcriminalchannel@gmail.com if you want. Tori spreading the love. Well, you guys spread it too. But yeah, I'm sad that shitty things happen to people on YouTube, but I just don't, this is a hobby for me. I don't have the time to research. And there are people that I really respect who've had horrible things happen to them. And they're talking about people that have done horrible things to them, but then they're also talking about people that they really like, and they're people that have done horrible things to me. And I'm like, this is where it gets so complicated. Please email. That'd be great, Moody Mary. Thank you. So for me and the sake of this community, if people come in here and they behave themselves, they can stay. The really sort of, I think, nasty, mean people that are doing shitty things on YouTube, they don't come here. Why would they? I'm not bitching about other people on YouTube. I'm not drama. Yeah, Dan, well, with hate speech, I mean, for this channel, we just have to go with the really obvious, horrible hate speech. You know, there's blatantly racist words, for example. If someone comes in here and says that, see ya, blocked. But again, I can't get overly invested in, people around the world getting offended by words that aren't necessarily offensive here, or, I can't go down that road. But if someone came in here and said something that was just blatantly racist and horrific, boom, block. No problem with that at all. Because a lot of people these days get offended by a lot of stuff, and just because they're offended doesn't mean they're right. I mean, I'm really sarcastic, like most Australians, and dry. And there've been so many times on YouTube I've said something that's been taken seriously, or it's flown over somebody's head and they've got all offended by that. And you kind of have to start tempering what you say and thinking carefully. And you mean more of the true crime crew going after yeah, I can't with that. I mean, fucking hell. This new YouTube trend of going to families of victims' homes and screaming and yelling out the front and causing drama and making money while they're doing it. I mean, what the fuck? If any of those people put themselves in, say they put themselves in the Laundrie's shoes or the Wells family's shoes, they wouldn't be doing it, but they don't give a fuck. Because, 600, 700, 800 people are tuning in to watch it, and a lot of them are egging them on. And the super chats are flying thick and fast. And that was something I said on the live last night about Hillcrest Primary School too. Like, the people that keep going into these channels and supporting them are part of the problem. It's bad enough that creators go live for 6 hours ripping other people to shreds, but then you've also got 600, 700, 800 people watching and throwing money at them. Supply and demand, the creators are like, I know how to make money. And people just roll up and hand it over. And they're part of the problem. Human beings by nature are pretty voyeuristic. Look at what happens when there's a car accident. Everyone rubbernecks driving past to look at it. It's part of human nature. We're a curious species. But when you've got 800 people rocking up to watch a stunt, that is being pulled outside the home of families who are going through the most horrific experiences. And you've got all these people, just the mob rocking up and egging them on. It's really scary. You know, whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? Like, the Summerwell story is absolutely heartbreaking. But what if the parents are completely innocent? Because we don't know. What if they're completely innocent? And, you know, without judging the condition of the home, the lifestyle they lead, their parents whose child is missing, if they're completely innocent, they've got these fucking nutters from YouTube who think they're going to crack the case, even though, you know, the FBI is looking into it. People that are trained to solve crimes are looking into it and no charges have been laid. Why do these YouTubers think they're going to a home and screaming out the front is okay? And even the laundries, like, that was horrific. Imagine being the parents of a kid who it's pretty likely murdered his girlfriend, fiance, and then takes off and ends his life. We don't know what he told them. And it's really bizarre watching this shit going on in Australia because nobody does that sort of shit here. I'm never going to do a live and go and stand outside Martin Bryant's mother's house screaming abuse at her. It'd be shocking enough to come to terms with the fact that you gave birth to a child that was capable of doing horrific things. And you can bet your bottom dollar if any of those screaming banshee protesters outside victims' homes, if it was one of their kids that did it and they had screaming banshees sticking, you know, signs up and protesting outside their houses, we'd never hear the end of it. About how disgusting the people protesting out the front of their houses were. You'd never hear the end of it. But it's quite okay for them to do it to other people, right? Hey, Bruce. We're still in the roadworks zone where it's only 60 k's, but I will be cruising down the highway in the hot, hot sun. How bizarre, very soon. So I'll check in on chat again when it's safe to. You all just hang out like your groupers do. Like the horrible tragedy that happened yesterday at Hillcrest Primary School, there's an investigation well underway, but it could take a long time. They've got to interview witnesses, and a lot of those witnesses are little kids. And, you know, based on the advice of all of the counsellors and psychologists, psychiatrists that are providing care to the kids, the teachers, the first responders, they're not going to be pushing these witnesses to give statements until they know that, you know, they're ready to do so. But say, for example, the investigation finds out that the owners of the jumping castle didn't anchor it properly, you're not going to see a shitload of Tasmanians standing outside the home of the person that owns that business hurling abuse at them. You know, we'll let the investigation happen and the outcome of that and the ramifications of it, justice will prevail, but you're not going to find a heap of Tasmanians standing outside some person's house abusing the fuck out of them. It's so disrespectful to the victims. Like with what happened at the laundries. Oh, we're doing it for Gabby. Do you think Gabby would want you to be doing that? I don't. You don't give a fuck about Gabby. You're making a shitload of money and you're seeing all the viewers rolling in and supporting it, and you're counting the coins and they add up pretty quickly. I mean, I found it incredibly ironic, and I did a video about it, and then Harley did one too. That Gabby had "Let It Be" tattooed on her arm. Can someone block that porn bombing, link throwing Patricia person, please? But you could almost hear Gabby's voice saying "Let it be" to the people standing outside Brian's parents' house. We're doing this for Gabby. The Summer World stuff. We're doing this so Summer Worlds won't be forgotten. She's not. There's still a shitload of channels covering that case. Why aren't you getting fired up and naming the names of other children that are missing that haven't had the same sort of coverage? I don't think there's been a day in the 6 months since Summer went missing that I've opened YouTube and there hasn't been notifications for channels talking about it. How dare you use a 5-year-old to justify this bullshit, a missing 5-year-old to justify this bullshit? How dare you use the name of a beautiful girl who was murdered to justify your protesting outside the parents of her fiance's house? How dare you? How dare you? Fucking disgusting. If you're leaving your super chats and stuff like that turned on, do like Great Hughes does and donate to charities. The amount of money that channel's donated is so phenomenal. But if you're pulling a little stunt and you're using the name of a victim and you've got money rolling in, you're an asshole. Turn your super chats off and go and stand outside people's houses and protest. Let's see how many times you do that. I mean, no, I'm not encouraging anyone to stand outside anyone's house and protest, but if you seriously are doing it for Summer, switch off super chats, motherfuckers. Emily! Oh, thank you. You honestly did not have to do that, but thank you. Your comment about, I feel like I need to because it was my idea that you do memberships, but no expectations at all. But thank you. 2 new members today. That's very exciting for little Cashew, the baby wombat. And then we'll be getting the little Tassie devil in February. But oh yeah, I was saying earlier, I'm going to do like a video where I talk about Bonorong and what they do. Very quick little video. I might even use one of their videos. And then I'm going to add each animal that we sponsor to it. So there'll always be like a little record of all of our little babies. Well, I'm very excited to have you. I don't know what level you are, but I don't know if I can call you a nutbag or a peanut or. But thank you, darling girl. I'll have a proper chat with everyone when we get to the car park or when we're moving slowly in town. But as you guys know, we're about to go over the bridge and all eyes on the road. Bunurong are going to love it too. They're going to be like, wow, what is this Traces of Nuts thing? I mean, I kind of know Greg Irons, the guy that has Bunurong, so hopefully he'll be like, oh, that's just Tory being Tory. Call her a cashew. Oh, is she a cashew? Cute. Oh, that's a bit posh, I think. I think cashews, pushing $5 a month. I can't remember the dollar value. I think the highest one is $6.99, maybe. I can't remember. I wanted to do like 25 cents, 50 cents, a dollar, $1.50, $2. But yeah, memberships on this channel, you don't get like members only chats. Never going to do that. If I do make a little video, there will be a little members only viewing of it. Like you'll get to see it first. But that's purely because when you set up memberships, you've got to offer perks. And I went down through the list and there wasn't really much on the list. And I was like, I mean, obviously you get the emojis and the little badge, but there weren't really many perks that I liked. But then I thought, oh, well, maybe a little VIP screening. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's going to get screened and then it'll be up for everyone else to see. And it's not like my videos are, award-winning efforts. I mean, they're silly. So, if you get to see it a bit before other people, it's not like it's an amazing perk, but you have to choose, I think, a minimum of 2 perks per level. But that one I thought, oh, well, that's kind of, I mean, I'm in Australia, time zones. It's not that common that everyone can watch my videos as soon as I put them up. So, but, there's a few members that might be around that, oh, a little members only advanced screening of a shitty video made by Tory. Wicked. Let's check it out. But I also know you groovers don't expect like members only things here, like, as if we would do that. So that's why we're doing this sponsorship of the critters. And at the end of 2022, I'll probably renew Cashew because Cashew's the original critter. But then in 2023, we're going to then move across to 10 Lives, which is where I got Biscuit and Sunny from. And they've always got different funds. I mean, I just donated to their appeal at the moment, which is to help them upgrade their buildings. This year, my monthly sponsorship with them went to funds for kittens that they rescue that need major medical assistance. But we'll do 10 Lives the following year because it's good economics to move your charitable donations around. Share the love. So we're going to have a year of sponsoring native critters. And like I said, Cashew being the OG critter. will continue her sponsorship into the next year, but the following in that year, we'll start supporting some of the things that 10 Lives are doing. Because I've rescued not one but two incredibly beautiful floofs from there. And the amount of time and effort they put into socialising these animals and looking after them is unbelievable. Like, they really are a great organisation, much loved by Tasmanians, and they do a lot of giving back to the community as well, even though they rely on funding, donations. So yeah, we'll give them some love in 2023. I mean, Sunny and I already do a monthly donation to 10 Lives already. So on top of that, we'll add the members, and we'll be able to give them, a bit more money and help them with whatever their project or fundraiser is at the time. If you guys agree, of course, we are a democracy here. But that was what I was thinking would be good to do. Because it is bad economics to constantly support the same charities. Like, your contribution is obviously valued, but by moving it around, you get more bang for your buck. This was explained to me by an accountant, and I'm hopeless with figures, but it did make sense when they explained it. We're open and affirming to all nuts. You're so kind, Emily. Stop it. And we'll go out to Bonnarong as well, and I'll do a nocturnal trip next time, because most of the Australian critters, because it gets so hot during the day, most of our native animals are nocturnal. So there's a lot more action out there at night. I mean, I loved the day we went out there. None of the animals gave a flying flip. All the kangaroos, I had that giant bag of food, and they didn't give a shit. We missed the wombat by that much. Although they do put up the times that they do the tours. So I will also do a daytime trip out there, and you'll get to see cashew. It may not be the actual cashew, but I'm going to tell everyone it is. That's our baby. It's our little cashew. Hey, Irvin. Hey, Green Eyes. Welcome, Groovers. Well, that was a bit of drive therapy. I was a bit blue when I got in the car, and I was like, I'll just go live. It's always nice to have a bit of a chat. Got to vent about the scumbags of YouTube again. But yeah, poor little Tasmania, mending a very broken heart at the moment, following a horrific tragedy at Hillcrest Primary School yesterday. The whole state is just in shock. Well, the whole country is. I mean, the world is. The story made world news, and it was terribly sad. I covered it on my Smooth Crib. Actually, Emily, you'd be so proud of me. I was Grey Hughes Jr. last night in my live. Morgan taught me how to maximise the features of Google Earth, and we went a little bit of Googling. We finally will get to name a kangaroo. That's right, the one you spoke to wouldn't give his name. No, he didn't, little bastard. I'm hoping that next year we end up like we will have cashew, and then we're going to have 6 critters next year, 6 more for the gang. And I'm hoping that they all get nut names, but then the last one's given a completely random name like Julie. So we'll have like cashew, pistachio, acorn, peanut, Brazil, or macadamia, and Julie. Thank you, Green Eyes. Isn't it awful? I did a quick scan of the news channels this morning because there are 3 still in hospital in critical condition and 1 in serious condition. It was so sad. Yeah, it was Sue, perfect, Ruth. So there'll be 1 in February, then April, June, August, October, and December. So yeah, there'll be 6 more in addition to Cashew. And then at the end of next year, we'll renew Cashew for another 12 months, but then we'll move over to 10 Lives, where my beautiful Biscuit and Sunny have come from, and we'll use the memberships to support them. Because they have lots of different things you can donate. You can donate to like help. There's a lot of people that foster kittens, and you can donate for like food and all the little bits and pieces that get sent to the foster carers, which I think is a really good one. So they're not, essentially going broke because they're fostering 6 little kittens. I'm trying to line up my car. I can't stand. This is the OCD, or the OCDC as I call it in me. My car has to be perfectly lined up. I do have to put some makeup on, so I won't be able to read chat the whole time. Rhoda. Is Rhoda Cordell one of those weird link bombing weirdos that I'm getting a lot of now? If so, can someone launch the cannon and blast Rhoda into the YouTube stratosphere, please? Send Rhoda off to planet whatever. I don't think Rhoda's legit. I could be wrong. I apologise if I am, Rhoda, but your comment indicates you might be here for spurious reasons. Where's Kenny? Slides in. Hello, Grover. The bots. Rhoda's gone. Bye, Rhoda. We launched the band cannon. She gone. Bye, Rhoda. Fly free. That was one thing, actually, which is sort of when the story broke about the kids yesterday. There's a lot of people on Facebook and so on, but it's very common when an animal or a child dies, or even an adult, that people say fly free. But it's so weird, sort of reading that, considering what happened to them. Like, I don't know, no one's writing that to be offensive, but it's sort of like, It was like right after Port Arthur happened, there was an ad at the time on TV that had it was an ad for jeans, but it had all these people that had basically put on heaps of weight, and the buttons on their jeans were popping, but they used the sound of like gunshots. And they had all these different people wearing jeans they were too tight and the buttons popping, and it was really, it just really stood out as being the worst possible ad to be playing while they were covering this mass shooting. Just poor timing. Are we getting more bots? Oh, hello, Audrey. I just put my glasses on really quickly, but I've got to put my powder on top of my foundation, or my glasses are going to get trashed. So yeah, we've got our little Christmas lunch today, and I don't think anyone's feeling very festive. It'll be nice to all be together at least. And we've got our borders opened on the 15th, and COVID has arrived in Tassie as expected. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens because Tassie is a very popular tourist destination, and because we've been COVID free, everyone wants to come here. It's lovely that families are being reunited, but they responded really quickly. The guy that flew into Tassie um, did all the right things. He tested negative before he left, but by the time he got to Tassie, he tested positive. They got him into quarantine really quickly. The people on the plane that were in rows close to where he was have all had to go into quarantine for a week, which, Christmas um, for these families that have been reunited, just the fact that their home is the best gift ever. So as much as it sucks that they've got to be in quarantine for a week, at least they're home and they're reconnecting with their families again. There's no present better than that. You haven't seen your mum for 3 years. Oh, Emily, you thought that was Audrey. But there is also a sub who comes in here called Audrey too, and that's another Audrey. But then the other AJ Audrey comes in here too. I did the same thing. Oh, look, Kathleen Watson launched the band cannon. Oh, Kathleen, you're about to fly into space. You don't mess with the mods on my channel. They're fast and they're brutal. Kathleen with a C. It does crack me up that they've all got kind of civilian YouTube names. It makes them stand out because whoever came up with these bots should have given them all, the usual sort of YouTube weird names, Twinkie Boat and Flying Doofus. But no, she's on Mars. Thank you, Emily. I bet you want to see your mum. It's heartbreaking. There's so many families that um, they haven't seen each other for such a long time. I can't imagine. Hopefully you'll be reunited soon. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that families here are getting to reunite after a long time. There's some pretty moving scenes happening at Hobart Airport when the borders opened and kids that are studying at universities and things like that, are finally able to come home and spend time with their parents and siblings and friends. And but yeah, it's awful. I'm just putting on eyeshadow. That's why I'm not reading chat at the moment or saying much. I need all the concentration I can muster when I put shit on my face. I'm not very good at it. Oh, Ruth, see, Ruth hasn't seen her sissy. Somebody else, but it was Moody Mary saying, you're going to spend Christmas in England with your sisters that you haven't seen them in so long. Well, that's beautiful news. Meanwhile, poor Ruthie, her sister's driving to France this morning. I wish my mum and dad were still alive too. I miss them every day, but around this time of year, definitely. You'll have her on the first one. She's 85. Good on you. Where's Kenny putting a bit of humour in there? I'm fine with that. I'm very close with my siblings. I mean, losing our parents made us, we were already close because we're really close in age, but losing our parents made us even closer. But my brother lives in Singapore with his family, and they were able to get home just as luck would have it. Well, not luck, because they were trying to get home for months, but their three kids were all studying in Australia, and they managed to get home 6 weeks ago. Um, and we got to catch up with them, but they spent, the 2 weeks in quarantine, and my sister-in-law did it 3 times this year, which how on earth, I don't know. I mean, one time sounded more than enough and nightmarish, but 3 times, it's like, wow. But it was so lovely to just see my brother in the flesh. Like, it's amazing, what we used to take for granted. You realise how special it is if you do get to reconnect. So I hope everyone who is missing family members and friends all get to reconnect soon, because there is nothing better than seeing faces you love in the flesh for the first time after a long time. Very, very special. Right, bit of mascara action. We're nearly there, guys, and then I'll have another chat. I'll sort my hair out inside. It's up in a messy bun at the moment. My mum did too, Moody Mary, and I've got to say, after um, Mum died, Christmases were never the same. I mean, Dad used Christmas as it could be my last Christmas. You've got to come home, because I was living interstate. Every year for years and years and years, I got guilted into that. I only had one Christmas, or two. Well, I had one when I lived in America when I was in my teens, but I had one Christmas on the mainland the entire time I lived there, because Dad was always like, it's going to be my last Christmas. So Dad used Christmas to emotionally blackmail us. But Mum was the one who made it amazing. But after she died, that magic went with her, unfortunately. It's just never been the same again. And I mean, I always do something lovely. I kind of mark the occasion and spend it with my sister, or when Will was back here with, I had the last Christmas last year, I had a massive lunch at my house, which was beautiful, before Will and Nikki moved to Singapore. But it isn't the same. But I'm actually catching up with my best mate. Um, we're having a traditional turkey dinner on Christmas Eve. I'm staying the night. And then going to a Christmas brunch on Christmas morning, and then I'm heading home because I've got Sunny to feed, but also friends of mine who are away over Christmas, I'm feeding their cats as well. So I'm spending Christmas Day feeding cats. And then on Boxing Day, the 26th, which is also Sunny's 10th birthday, my sister's visiting and staying the night, and my cousin who lives in Sydney is literally home for Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then she flies home. But she's going to come down and we're going to go and have a swim. But Ange and I will have a bit of a second Christmas banquet for the two of us, and a little birthday party for Sunny. And there'll be some FaceTiming with my brother and his family on Christmas Day. But yeah, I'm pretty much running around feeding cats on Christmas Day. I've turned into I've turned into a freaking cat lady. Your pet sitting too? Oh, Portuguese. I made Portuguese chicken the other night. It was amazing. lots of wine. Yeah, see, we don't go nuts with presents, so we can buy really yummy food and wines and champagne and sparkling. How sad though for the families of the children who died yesterday. Like their last day of school, graduation, the little celebration that went terribly wrong, and now they're all planning funerals. I reckon Christmas has been shelved. But it's tough because, I know that the two kids that had the two kids I've named, both of them have siblings. So you sort of you've got to look after them too. They may not want to celebrate Christmas, but Christmas is always going to be very difficult for them from now on. My grandmother's brother died on Christmas Day, and Christmas was quite a somber occasion for my mum growing up, which is why I think she went overboard to make it amazing for us, because her mum just was never able to celebrate, understandably. And he was young. I know it is unthinkable. I mean, I put the GoFundMe link up on my Facebook page, and a girl commented and said, no amount of money is going to bring them back. And it's like, that's not what it's for. If it gives them some financial relief, because they're now having to plan funerals, the kids that are still in hospital are going to have ongoing expensive medical bills that need to be paid. And if it also means that they're able to, treat the siblings a little bit more and do something special for them a bit later on, like go away on a little family break or whatever they need to do to sort of regroup and process what's happened. I find it weird that people are just so critical. It's like, well, no amount of money is going to bring the kids back. It's like people want to do something and nobody knows what words to use. Like nobody knows what to say. This is so horrible. And if donating to a GoFundMe makes people feel like they've done something, or they're still scrambling to even find words to say the right thing, or like not even say the right thing, say anything. Like if that makes people feel like they've helped out, then who are you to judge? Like, of course it's not going to bring these babies home. But if you're taking financial stresses off families who are now, right before Christmas, having to bury their babies, and if it means that they can cover their medical bills and, like I said, even do something positive with the money, even if it's a little memorial or whatever they want to do, but just taking that additional pressure off them is a kind act, isn't it? Oh, no. That's another sad story. We will have to try and end this live on a cheery note too. I was reading that the year six children were also having their leavers dinner last night, primary graduation. Oh, yeah, rightly so. And people want to help, because words are, there's nothing anyone that can say is going to make it feel better. But if you can take some pressure off families, financial pressure, to at least help them, let them focus on what they need to, which is grieving the loss of their children or their wife or whoever it might be, I think it's a really kind gesture. And, I was, hello, David Topping. I was just encouraging people to share it, because the more that it got out there, I mean, they've already raised over 200,000, which is amazing. But, I just put a little note that if people wanted to share it, because people want to help. They want to do something. Exactly. Well, it's not even just the kids that need counselling. One of the stories, hey, Recliner Detective, one of the stories that I read this morning was that some of those police officers, it was their first day on the job. It was their first day working as a cop. New little graduate, like cadets that have graduated, that was their first day of work yesterday. And they had to attend that horror scene. All the teachers are going to need counselling, the parents, the people who witnessed it, the kids who witnessed it, the neighbours who witnessed it, all the first responders. They've already got an incredible team of people up there for counselling. And any article that is published about it has all the hotline numbers for, Lifeline, Child's Helpline, which is fantastic as well. But there are even people that are just witnessing this story from a distance who aren't connected at all that are going to struggle with this. Yeah, the little baby cops. That photo broke my heart with the two girls sitting on the hill crying and consoling each other. But imagine that, your first day at work in Devonport, which is this peaceful, small, beautiful coastal town in northwest Tasmania. I'm not sure what the population is, but it's probably around 40, 50,000. It's a town where nothing bad happens, or rarely, and they've already had another horrible incident this year, which I covered on my true crime channel as well, the shooting. You can definitely post a link, Emily. Yeah, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? Green eyes. But yeah, some of them, it was their first day at work. So it's impacting a lot of people. No amount of training would prepare you to deal with that sort of stuff. None. The kids and the parents and the teachers that witnessed it are just going to relive that moment over and over and over again. And hopefully everyone will just let the investigation, the coronial investigation, take place without pointing fingers. Because I'd hate it if that sort of stuff starts happening and it turns out that it was just a freak accident. There was this freak whirly gusts of wind and it picked it up, and there was no way it could have been prevented. Because I imagine the bouncy castle people won't be feeling great right now. The school are going to feel like shit for organising it. It's just going to mess with so many people's heads for a long time. No, I don't know how they answer it. I mean, it's weird. You do kind of become a little bit, what's the word? I'm only speaking from my experience when I did criminal law and I saw so many murder scenes and crime scene photos and stuff like that. You do become a bit desensitized to it. But it doesn't, I can still visualize so many photos that I saw and crime scenes that I saw that just were horrible. Like, you don't ever forget. I don't think there's a human being that can erase memories like that, but you do get a bit desensitized in terms of how you react to stuff as time goes on. Because you've still got to get up and do your job every day and feed your family and all that sort of stuff. Exactly. You do need a dark. I think that's what helped me too. I've got a dark sense of humour as well. So Emily's dropped a link. If anyone wants to check that out, go for it. Beautifully said, AJ. There's 5 little angels. It was really beautiful. The sunset last night was incredible. It was like the universe just went, okay, there's an island that's now got a big broken heart. Let's turn on the most beautiful sunset. Like, it was gorgeous. But what a lot of people did last night, they lit 5 candles, and there were photos of these amazing little sort of setups with the 5 cameras, very moving. But all over the island, people were lighting 5 candles, and I did 5 candles in a little love heart. Those used little tea lights. But it was pretty moving. You do go mad, and you have to just, it's part of the job. And, I think if you stop being affected by it, it's, there's something wrong with you as a human being. But to do your job, you do have to just realise that, as horrible as it is, there are people that are going through absolute hell because someone in their family's just been murdered, or someone's just died in a car accident, or whatever it might be. And you've got to focus on being able to get them through it, because they're the ones that need it. They need the support. And it's quite okay when you knock off and go home to fall in a heap and bawl your eyes out. A lot of people do that. It's better to have a good cry and process it. Okay, guys, I need to go into the office shortly, but I'd love us to end on something positive. So I'm grateful that I'm at work today and I can spend time with other people that are equally as, I mean, the whole island is just gobsmacked right now. Everyone's just in shock. But yeah, I'd love us if we could try and put some cheery things, something cheery, something positive. Let everyone think of something that you're doing tonight or that you did in the last 24 hours. I'm going to say cashew is the big thing that brought me a lot of joy and will still bring us all joy for a long time to come. And thank you again to all of the members, because it inspired me to come up with this idea, and it's really rewarding. And we've now got baby cashew to make us all smile. Yes, thank you, Emily. I will revel in, and I will revel in giving others support too. Yes, cashew. There's our little good news story. Thank you, Green Eyes. And yeah, there's a lot of love being poured onto Tasmania from around the world, and we really appreciate that. We've got an incredibly tight community, and mateship runs very deep in our psyche, Australians. It's all about mateship and looking out for others. Like I said last night, if somebody falls over, their friends rush to pick them up, but so do 10 strangers. It's a really big part of our psyche, but it does mean a lot to know that people around the world are moved by this and aware that it happened and sharing in the sadness that we're all processing. The heart-shaped forest. Yes, I might revisit that today. Good vibes over to the little island. Thank you. Oh, Green Eyes, go and catch up on cashew. It'll make your day. Yes, Emily, I've got to do on the weekend, I'm making the emojis. I've actually got to do a YouTube how to make emojis. You've got to custom size them. And I need to actually watch a video on how to do it, because I've tried and they're not working. But there'll be a cashew emoji, there'll be biscuit, and there'll be sunny. Australians love you, Emily. Yeah, I love it about Australia too. It's remarkable. I love how we all pull together. See you, where's Kenny? Thanks for popping in. Good to see you, Groover. I love the mateship part of our psyche. And it's so interesting when you travel and realise that it's not the same in every other country. So many countries, it's all, all about individuals themselves first. I love that I got to grow up in a country where mateship's such an important thing. And it really is, guys. Like, for those of you outside of Australia, like, yeah, whatever, it seriously is so important to us. It's just how we're built. It's just what we're like. And, it'd be lovely if other countries also adopted that kind of psyche, because it gives you great comfort when you see communities pull together to get through stuff. It's a really lovely part. I mean, Australia is not a perfect country. I could do a live on all the reasons why Australia can be considered a shitty country too. Don't think I'm so biased, but I love mateship. I love our mateship. And this little island, the sense of community on this island is so strong already. But to have so many people from around mainland Australia and the world sending their love our way means a lot. Trust me, the people that are needing comfort the most right now are aware of it and they know, and it would be helping them a lot. So to little Addison and Zane, they're the two children that have been identified and their photos are out there. And the other three kids who lost their lives yesterday on what would have been probably the biggest and best day of their lives so far. I still don't really know what to say. You didn't deserve to have your life cut short and in such a horrible way. But you're not going to be forgotten, little ones. I didn't want to end on that little sad note, but I want to say that who's never met an Australian? Well, Molly Golightly. Apparently, every Australian she's met is a bitch. So take that how you want. I'm going to go into work and give lots of hugs. I need a hug. I got a little hug from Sunny last night, but normally I get her on my lap for at least half an hour. She gave me 5 minutes and then went back to her spot on the table. I'm like, excuse me, why didn't you give me the long hug tonight? She knows nothing, Jon Snow. Look, we're not going to now slam random Australians that are shitbags. Every country's got heaps of them. Australia's no exception. Oh, thank you, Emily. Yep, remember little Cleo Smith? That was a massive story. We'll be doing some big stories of the year again at the end of the year too on this channel. So we'll be talking about some of the big news stories, and not all of them are great, but there'll hopefully be some positive ones. And if there aren't, we'll insert the story of Cashew. So yeah, on that note, I was at for Sunny Bum. Thank you, darling. Morgan was really worried when I told everyone the memberships were going to sponsoring Cashew. She's like, what about Sunny? I said, she still gets all the super chats and stickers and AdSense revenue, all 28 cents of it. I will watch out for your email, Moody Mary. I look forward to reading that. Have a beautiful day, everyone, a lovely evening, and just hug people, even if it's virtually, just hugs. And don't forget, if you do stumble across YouTube channels where shit's going down, if there's someone in the chat that you met on YouTube who you're fond of, let them know, give them a big hug, throw up some hearts, and then get the fuck out of there. But I love you guys. I truly do. And we'll all reconnect again very soon.